with the shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.
All right, and we are back.
Hello again.
Yeah, if you guys have not heard, we're hosting an event in August 18th, 19th, and 20th. Just send me a message anywhere to get more details on it at FF Hustler 420 on all social media.
I'm going to try something new here.
Hustler.
I'm going to try something new here. Okay, quick bogey, a quick Bogartin Scorsese. You're going to the movies. What kind of snacks are we talking here? What are we doing here?
Gotta get popcorn with like the
right
butter.
Okay.
Butter popcorn, yeah.
I'm a big fan of getting the popcorn, hella butter, and then I get some Reese's Pieces and I eat them simultaneous.
And nachos used to be a go-to, but man, they're shitty at all these places, so it's almost like
I enjoy the shitty nachos. Like I'm a fan of like that shitty cheese with the jalapenos. You know what I mean? Like, and then you open it, the cheese is warm and shit. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I don't buy the candy. I just stick with the popcorn, butter, and I eat like half the bag. I'm done. I just binge on it for the first 5 minutes of a movie, then I'm done.
See, I hate it when I know I'm about to watch a lengthy movie and I got a soda and a popcorn because, you know what I'm saying, it's just the simultaneous salty this, and then I need to quench it, and then the next thing I gotta pee. Or the movie's so good, I'm like, fuck it, we're doing this, we're holding it. You know what I mean? Just, you feel me? I hate having to leave the movie and go take a piss.
Yeah, because I gotta keep slowly eating the popcorn throughout the movie, or sometimes I'll just get too high and fall asleep in the middle of it.
Oh,
yeah, sometimes it happens to
man,
the best.
Here's the thing too: going to the movies and having kids, man. There's no way around it. Like, I gotta go potty. Let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then you get back and there's my other kid. I get back and it's my other kid. I gotta go potty, and I'm like, babe, go, you go. This movie's hella good. I'm like,
what'd they go before?
It's kids, man. You ask them, they say, yeah, no, we're good. You will make them motherfuckers go too. And you know they in there, and the kids see it's the whole experience for them. They on there, they got all the candy, and they got a big old icy and a fucking, you know what I mean, or a soda or whatever. You know what I mean? You give them that shit that I'm not gonna let them have on a daily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, it's like it's annoying because you know what I'm saying. The real trick is like you bring your own shit.
Yep. All right, let's jump back into this. So where we left off in Act 1, our man Teddy, aka Leo, he's interrogating not all the patients, but interrogating a few of them. And he's talking to the old lady, who's like the axe murderer, and we're just at the part where she asks Chuck to go get a glass of water. When he leaves, she writes down "run" on his like little notepad or whatever, and then like right when Chuck comes back, it's really weird because like the glass is empty. She puts it down. The glass is empty. That was just something that tripped me out, like in the movie. And then and then he's just kind of like hiding it. You know, she wrote "run." We don't even know what she wrote at that exact moment.
Yeah, I didn't know the glass was empty like that. And yeah, I remember seeing "run." So he thinks to get out, but he wasn't getting out of that place.
No,
I think it's because maybe because them two, they had correlations. They both killed their significant others. You know what I mean? Maybe he was getting on with her for all we know. You know what I mean? When he was in the other state of mind or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, she knew that something was wrong. You know, that's really her telling him to run, right? And I mean, he doesn't really know the significance. And then right after, you know, that's when he asked, who's Andrew Latis? And she starts tripping the hell out and all shaking like crazy and just has to get
I don't know who he is. Did she say that?
Yeah, never heard of him, and then gets up and leaves.
Because at that moment, too, I bet you it's like, if she tells him to run, there's obviously some compassion there, right? Like you don't just tell someone if you don't give a fuck about them, right?
Yeah.
So maybe she just saw right then and there when she started shaking. That's when she realized, yo, he's off. He's far too gone. Now the motherfucker's asking him, who is Andrew Latis? Motherfucker, you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's so dangerous. But he's dangerous.
Well,
she's afraid, maybe she's afraid to tell him the truth right there. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's also they're all instructed not to too, though. You know what I mean?
Well, this is also jumping a couple scenes ahead. But when they go to like the crazy ward, he the guy who he beat up he beat him up because he called him Andrew Latus, and that's why he beat the shit out of him. So nobody wants to say.
Well, because remember they were deciding to speed up the process. I think at that point, right?
Yeah, that was
They're
like
that
was the thing that made them have to do this, because they said if this didn't work, that they're gonna have to lobotomize him pretty much, because he keeps hurting people.
Yeah, and then okay, how far are we ahead when he goes and sit down into the bellies? You know what I mean? Because this part, I have some questions for y'all here.
The part right after that was when they go out there and they got the raincoat or the like slickers on, and they find that, I don't even know what it is, but the little shack or something, and they start talking to each other, and he starts talking about the lobotomy stuff, and the guy George that he found out who told them about how they're performing all these experiments.
Yeah. Okay. And then he starts, because when he goes down into the thing, further investigating, right? Remember? And then now he has this pack of cigarettes and he has his own lighter now, or matches, whatever it is. And see, I'm like, that's got to have been all in his head now at that point. But then he runs into the guard, right?
Yeah.
And this guard don't give a fuck, because he's straight blowing the kayfabe. You know what I mean? He's like, listen, this shit ain't gonna fucking work for your ass. You know what I mean? Remember, he's just laughing kind of in his face, and this guy's confused. But then it's like, I'm like, that's how that big real right there. You know what I mean? But because remember when he lights the thing and then he sees her in the flame or whatever, the flame like ignites the vision of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She like poofs away in ash.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that obviously that's all in his head right there, because he ain't never had no cigarettes like that on his own. You know what I mean? Or a lighter, or matches. I mean, you're not gonna let a crazy person have the ability to create a fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, remember he kept trying to light it too. It was like it wasn't real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they start really freaking out when I talked to the guy George, and he told me all this. He was here, and then he like killed somebody and went back, or like some shit like that, and telling him about how everything's at the lighthouse and pretty much how he's gonna take that whole place down.
And they're like, uh-oh. They're like, get the look. They're like, prepare the operating room. His crazy ass is gonna mosey his crazy ass way up to that light tower, and it's a wrap for him.
Yep. And and then he gets so their suits and everything get wet, and then they have to get the guy gives them like the orderly clothes, and he doesn't want to wear it, and he was like, "This is all you got?" He's like, "Well, we can give you some of the prison grays." But the white orderly stuff was good enough for them at that point.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, just that's the only way they can get him into it.
Yeah.
Like, just allow him to keep pretending he's not really an orderly.
Yeah, we have to pretend that we're going out there in all this rain and everything. Because who knows if it really was raining, right?
Right?
Even when they're running out there, and he could still be all in his mind.
I mean,
but the fence got torn down by that tree. Remember?
The what?
The fence got bashed in by the tree from the wind.
But then the next day, wasn't it all cleaned up, nice and neat? You know what I mean?
Well, what I thought everything got messed up was when they right after that, when they said the backup generator like went down, and then all the electric fences were like down, and they started like fucking everything up, like the patients.
Okay, so that was real.
Yeah. But yeah, it was them fucking it up, not the storm. Because it was like the tree was like, it took out an electric fence where someone like climbed over that shit or something, is what it looked like.
The crazies were having a field day.
That was a storm.
Because they said, because that's when they go farther down the rabbit hole. What is it? Ward C, they said, whereas
Ward C, yeah.
The worst of the worst.
Ooh. And the belly of the beast.
Yeah, they've only heard stories about it, and that's where everybody else is afraid of these people who are in there, is how crazy they are.
And it actually didn't show that much of Ward C. I thought I was going to see a bunch of crazy ass people.
I mean, they go through really quick, but I mean, shit,
Yeah.
you have one guy who's like picking his skin off to fucking, drawing blood and shit. And I mean, got motherfuckers grabbing at him, and stuff. Like, I mean, I guess they just don't
I remember that.
focus on too many people that long. But shit, the guy who he's talking to in there, George, the guy that he fucked up, like, man, I mean, he's just a scary looking dude. He doesn't even have to like do anything. Just looking at his face is scary enough.
Hey, George is one of the motherfuckers when you're a kid, you ring the doorbell for trick or treat. He's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
That
Give me an apple. I don't
like
know
a
apples
real
and
life
razor
flirt.
bladed.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Did you have that mid bogey with the apples? That watch out for razor blade.
Yeah, well, so
We never had anybody giving
when
out.
I grew up in the. I mean, I was born in the '80s, so growing up in like trick or treating in the '90s, you were vetted every Halloween to not accept like XYZ from people. You know what I mean? They would always tell, and then they would always tell you, please, kids, and don't walk on people's lawns, and don't ring the doorbells after 6, and you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? We be the motherfuckers out there till like 8:30. You know what I mean? Hella deep pillowcase.
And I get one part that we, or actually no, we didn't really skip it, but I guess it was right after they come back and they get their clothes changed and everything, and they're in the orderly stuff. Now they say that this Rachel was found.
Oh yeah, just like that.
Just like that during this whole big crazy.
Found her.
And I mean, and it's like, duh, because she was placed there then. You know what I mean? Because that's another question too. Is like, do you guys think that she was really like not liking what's going on and she's trying to run, hiding in this cave? Or was she there as part of the plan? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, everything is the ruse, right? It's all.
I think she's part of the plan.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's when you find out, right? This is when you find out that she's actually in on it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, because at the moment, I mean, shit. Like, I mean, I guess one of the things that threw me off right away too is because she didn't have her shoes, right? But they show like a close up on her feet, and they didn't look like all fucked up, like she was just running outside, for hours and hours or whatever. And but she starts going crazy.
She might have had callus.
Maybe a little bit, but she was going crazy on him. She was like, "Wait. Who are you? Because I buried you," and then like pushes them, and then they, so like, I don't know. There's like a little bit of drama. It got too real, but maybe it's just in his head, right? Is that?
I mean, same thing like when Ruffalo goes off the edge onto the rocks, and the water kind of washes, and he's gone. Like that was all in his head. You know what I mean? So
right.
Well, but he was on the rocks, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but then when he looked over and he was like laid out, you know what I mean? Like that was
Yeah,
all
he was laid out.
Yeah, like he was. I thought he was dead or something.
So that was real then, right?
Well, no, we're saying is maybe that her like bombing on him, like and tripping off him, like that could have been in his head. You know what I mean?
Well, because he made up this person in his head, right? Like, I mean, it's her name is the anagram of.
That's right, for his wife. Oh, yeah. That's right. She's a complete illusion or delusion.
So well, I mean, she's a real person. But it's like she's like an orderly or something, right? And so like maybe it's like it has to be because there's a part because
she's the one that is the widower too, right? Like she killed her husband too, something like that.
No, she said she was Rachel. Remember?
No, well they said that. No, they said that she killed her kids. So it's the whole story. Like it's.
Oh yeah. It's he's projecting the story of what happened with his wife and his kids into this Rachel character.
Right, because she's the figment of his imagination anyways. But this person, like she was like an orderly, but it was just, it's him tripping out at the end and, like who knows, did that really happen? It almost seems like it had to have because like at the end or like right after it, the psychiatrist was like, sorry about that, but I thought she was going to tell you something.
Yeah.
So that part was just trippy in general. But he starts having a headache and everything. But yeah, she just starts going in. It's like they've known each other or whatever. And in his mind, he doesn't know who the fuck she is. But for her, it's like they've known each other forever and she hugs him, and everything. And then she's like, wait, you're not Jim or whatever the hell name she said, or some random name. Who buried you? Like, you're not him or, and then.
We're on the big screen, fellas.
There we go. Yeah, they're definitely in the nut house. But he starts having his damn migraines again, tripping the hell out, and then they give him. I mean, who the hell knows what they give him? But they give him something again, and just keeps getting crazier and crazier. We keep going farther and farther, down this rabbit hole, and really, they're not finding anything. Like then he goes and he sleeps. They have him pass out in the room with the orderlies. Like he had to. They had to give him something to sedate him. So who knows what type of.
They gave him some good stuff. They gave him some good, some medical grade. I'm sure.
Yeah. And he keeps having all these trippy flashbacks to wherever he was for the war. I can't remember where they said that. I think
World War II. He kept referencing it in Normandy.
Okay, yeah. And then he has one of the trippiest visions of all. It's the dude who he said is Andrew Latis, where he has a scar from his face to his ear or something. And so that's who he portrays as Andrew Latis. And we finally kind of see this guy who he's talking about. But you can tell it's during his fucked up, little thing, and everything's in his head, right? And then
he has the thing in his eyebrow too. He has the little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's, there's where it's really him. You know what I mean?
I know you caught it, Bogey, but with the smoke and everything, because you talk about that, how the smoke. There's one part where he's smoking and all the smoke kind of reverses and goes into the cigarette.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. One of the other trippy parts.
Yeah, that was true.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
what's your thought process at this, Nelson? Now we're maybe 2/3 of the way through this, and
well, I just know that he's tripping out. Then I'm starting to trying to figure it out. I'm starting to lose what's real, what's not. So I'm catching on to what they're doing, but I still can't figure it out. Still don't figure it out. So it's just kind of still all over the place for me.
During this scene was when he sees the Rachel with all this blood all over, and then there's 3 kids on the ground. So that's so when we start getting these crazy ass visuals of things that we're gonna see in the end of the movie. But it's just pretty.
It's all foreshadows.
Yeah,
but isn't it at first they make you think that she killed the kids, because that's what he's saying, right?
Well, that's the story of. That's this story. Rachel is she killed her kids, her 3 kids.
Yeah,
is what it is, and it's him. But Rachel, and spoiler alert, Rachel is his wife, but it's the anagram of her name and all that. So it's really his wife's story that he's rediscovering.
Yeah, right? And I think it was the 2 kids, right? Was it 2 kids or
3?
3 kids. 3. It's I think 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah, because she loses her fucking mind.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. That really did happen. She did kill the kids, and then he murks her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we'll save all that for Act 3. But we're getting pretty close to it, though.
Whoa. You said she killed the kids and he killed her, right?
That's what happens in Act 3. Yeah. He's going through. So when he's having these visuals, it's getting him closer and closer to what the actual truth is. That's what's going on. It's just it's all the foreshadowing and everything.
Yeah.
These
and
a curve. A curve.
And the way my girl explains it, right? She was if they're trying to do some experiment, they're obviously weaning him off whatever meds he's on. You know what I mean? So he's getting highly symptomatic. You know what I mean? Because he's clinically insane. So these illusions or delusions, they're projections. They're he's really seeing these things in his mind. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what.
Well, it's always dream. I mean, and it is dream sequences. It's not he's I think some of the things that we're seeing, the Rachel chick going crazy on him, maybe that's a delusion that he's seeing in real time while he's awake. But a lot of these ones that really start foreshadowing the end of the movie, those are the ones where he's he's asleep and he's it's been when I feel they give him something each time before he falls asleep. If you remember, it's because of the migraines, and that's when he passes out. So I wonder if it's because of getting that, where he's like sleeping and it's like
Or,
triggering.
or maybe it could be. I mean, like I said, it could be some placebo. Because like he's and that's why he's having the visions and stuff, because he has nothing. He has no more medicine to suppress this shit, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I guess it could be because that's I mean, towards the end, we'll get into it in Act 3, but he was like, "What the hell's this?" And it's like, "Oh, it's the withdrawals." And so he's like withdrawing the withdrawing the whole time.
from whatever meds, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
then without those meds, he's completely crazy, you know what I mean? Like, and then but then that I think even with the meds, you know what I mean? They're like, okay, we let's try it again. It worked before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like that, when he's talking to that guard, the guard is referencing that they've tried this hella times already. You know what I mean? And he's laughing like that shit ain't gonna work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, man, it gets real trippy now because now is when they do go into Ward C, like after all that shit. And like it's when they said the backup generator went down. So like, yeah, all the patients are running amok. They're trying to like get them, just gather them up, get them back. And then, man, trippy looking dude in Ward C comes up and he tags Leo. Tag, you're it. Leo got so pissed. Hey!
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
he got pretty bad about that.
He was so pissed. And
he didn't like. He's
all in
probably
fun.
terrible
Come
at
on.
tag.
All in fun.
Yeah, and then I mean he starts fucking up Leo for a second though, but then Leo turns around and starts beating the shit out of dude.
Leo's
And,
like, remember? He's like, remember me, bro? I'm the one that runs Ward C, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, why would we ever want to leave? Like, I mean, yeah, it's people in Ward C who start keeping it real with him, right? Like those are the people who, I mean,
Those
shit,
are probably the people he's been locked up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh yeah. And so yeah, he beats the shit out of dude, and then like the guard gets all pissed, you know, like super pissed. Like you're just supposed to catch him, you're not supposed to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, because that's him. That's another form of him breaking the kayfabe right there.
Exactly.
like bro, like hold on. I mean, you know what I mean?
Guards are very protective of keeping the peace, of not having being violent.
I mean, yeah, shit. Yeah, at any given moment, you have a bunch of people that are established killers and psychopaths. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Especially when you start getting here. I mean, these are the crazies of the crazy, right? Like, I mean, pretty much everyone already in this entire, you know, Shutter Island is killers. These are the ones that are like, I mean, times 10 of everybody else. Yeah, you can just see like everything's just way different. Like in there, they don't have any, no articles of clothing, you know, anything like that. Nothing they can hang themselves. Dude's fucking picking at his arm and like drawing in blood. And then he finally gets all the way to the end where it's this guy, George. And it's the one who he says, I talked to this guy, George, and he told me about all these experiments. And yeah, Crispy, go ahead and ask. And yeah, he's excuse me. He's asking him. He thinks that George is Andrew Latis, and he's like, "Let me see your face."
All right.
And then he starts kind of like really just laying it all out for him. He was like, "Oh, you're a U.S. Marshal, huh?" He's like, "You're not being a detective of like anything." And he was like, "Oh, I bet you have a new partner, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." So it's like he's actually telling him all these things that are like fucking with his head. But
yeah, because he's saying he shouldn't trust his partner. You don't know him. Where you know him from? You don't know him from anywhere.
Yep. And he even says it like at the end, like when he says, "Oh, I trust him with my life," and he was like, "Well, then they've already won."
Yeah, that line. Yeah, it's over. Super
fucking trippy. And then they say that Andrew Latis beat him up last week, and that's why he's in there, and that's why he's all like fucked up. And he's even saying like, "Look at my face," and he was like, "You did this to me," and all that. And like Leo's like thinking like he did that to him by putting him in there somehow in the situation to get beat up. But
I thought that was tied to that shooting. Remember, he shot that one soldier. Maybe the soldier was reaching for a gun really slowly on the floor. He was already his back was on the floor already. Then
So I don't know. I don't know if those were because they did say that he got beat up for calling Andrew Latis.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It bounced around back and forth all over the place, man.
It's getting real trippy, like in this part, like for sure, like is getting trippy. Like he's hearing a lot of things that are confusing the hell out of him. Like as the audience, like if it's the first time that we've seen it, like everybody's very confused at this point, very very confused. And then like his the vision of his wife like shows up. And like he's like, you have to release her. You have to release her. Or you're not going to figure all this out. So he's like telling him things that he needs to do somehow, you know, because I mean, all these guys who are in here, they know each other because they're the ones who are around each other. Like that's for sure.
They were telling him to let her go emotionally, let her go from him, like from his heart, so to speak, right?
Well, yeah. And then that's also foreshadowing, you know, for later. Also foreshadowing for later. And then so now they finally get out of there, and then they start walking on the rocks, and it's like, oh, we got to get to this fucking lighthouse, right? Like they're just super super obsessed with the lighthouse because he knows that that's where everything is pretty much going down, right? Like I mean, that's the place that's like secure from everything. That's where they think that they're doing all the brain experiments and everything like that. And then that's where he has some kind of vision or whatever, where he sees the cigarette right there, like on a rock. Then he looks down and it looks like Chuck is like falling off. And then that's when he starts scaling the mountain, you know, scaling it all the way down, you know, to the bottom. And it's crazy, like how he finds the piece of paper, you know, with pretty much whatever the information, like about Andrew Latis that he never reads, but it just so happens like to fly up, you know, and just go right next to him on a rock. Like, what are the chances, you know, of that?
They're like, cue the papers. Someone over there. He's on the rocks now. Cue it.
I was just assuming that had to be something in his head that he like, you know, it just saw. I don't know, like this had like reminded him something about it. And then we get this fucking, like, and what the hell is going? The next scene always tripped me the fuck out. The thing with all the rats and shit, you know, like coming out of the mountain. I never really got.
Oh yeah, that was creepy.
I thought, I thought Michael Jackson was gonna start singing Ben or something. Like, man, so many rats coming from all of them. I didn't get the significance of that. Either of you guys have any thoughts on the whole rat thing?
I don't know. You know, I'm just gonna chalk it up to it was in his head.
Yeah, right.
You okay? When you said that you didn't get it, you talking about like symbolism?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to represent something. Maybe. I mean, he did say to him, "You're a rat in a maze or whatever." Remember, that's what that guard told him.
Okay.
And maybe, you know, maybe this is just like that's the symbolism of it. You know what I mean?
That's his maze.
Look at that! Boom, 10 points for Bogey. I'm on the board.
Yeah, I can give it. It was like it was breaking down the flesh. Rats eating all that crap, right? Maybe it was eating his old self, and then all the like that. You know, we were talking about the rain earlier. It's washing away the old, about bringing the new.
Okay.
So rats maybe represent
and
something.
There is everything with the water in general. The fact that they're on an island, the fact that, you know what I mean, and because all the water is what I mean. It's, you know, that's ultimately what killed his kids and made him crazy, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the water had a lot to do with this type of shit.
No, she said she was Rachel now, the one in the cave there, right?
That's what I was gonna say. You want to give us a little synopsis about the little cave scene right there, because that's where it starts getting trippy again.
Yeah, this is when he's back in the cave, right?
Yeah, and then he sees this other woman who now says that she's Rachel.
Yeah, she was a doctor and stuff. And
see, you gotta. This is where I think. I mean, that's got to be real, right?
No, well, I mean, they said he's making it up in his head because Rachel's just a fake.
Yeah, Rachel doesn't even exist. That's right. We already established that.
Yeah.
Okay, then this is just him further getting away from being off the meds. He's just the illusions or the delusions and the projections, they're just getting crazier and more. I mean, shit, they're walking around now and talking to him. You know what I mean?
So my question was like, was she Rachel then? She was saying she was Rachel? She was lying to him?
Well, no, Rachel doesn't exist. So this is just a figment of his imagination. So this is what maybe he didn't believe that Rachel was like, the Rachel in there or whatever.
I mean, he had a projection of what Andrew Latest looked like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and
maybe
it's him getting more of like the story, uncovering more. And he was like, did you have kids? And she was like, I never had kids. I used to work here. I used to work here, and I discovered they were doing all these experiments and everything. And she was like, they're never letting you off this island. She was like, you've been eating food and everything. And she's like, well, tell me you've been smoking your own cigarettes, and like just freaking him the fuck out.
No, I haven't been. Tell me you haven't eaten anything. Yes, I have.
But yeah, it's just like going further into the just everything.
This is how crazy he is, though. Is that he made it all up in his head, and now his projections are like confirming it. You know what I mean? That's how insane it is, right?
For sure.
Like it's like he's getting confirmation from shit that he made up in his head. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
because like his dreams are telling him one thing, but then these delusions are like, it's like struggling with like, just everything that's going on, and his delusions are keeping him like on this path. But it's like when he falls asleep, that's when he like gets the dreams that are guiding him towards what really happened.
Question for you, Alex.
Yeah.
And maybe Bogey knows. What was his daughter's name? He said his daughter's name once.
Dang it, I don't remember.
Is that when he was saying to say her name?
Yeah. He says her name and then say, who's that? This is my daughter. But didn't he not say Rachel? I think he did.
No, well, they say it at the very end, like that Rachel's name.
Yeah, at the very end, right.
It's the anagram of whatever his wife's name was, Dolores something. Can't remember her name.
So he did say Rachel, and then they said, who's that? He said, it's my daughter, right?
I don't know. I guess I can't remember that part.
Yeah, you got me there.
I saw it today.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
But yeah, it's when he he's in the bed and they start asking him questions to see if he's okay or where he's at. Yeah. So there's Ruffalo, there's Chuck, the doctor.
Chuck, yeah, that's his name.
Carly, whatever. And they're asking me these questions. He said, "Yeah, I killed my kids." Right?
Yeah.
So that's he's on the bed. He's sitting down.
No, but see, it's because he blames himself, though. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he said that too.
That's he didn't really kill the kids. He killed her, though. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Maybe this is a good time to wrap up Act 2, and then we'll just get into the whole climax and then the whole finale. Because this is a good
timing.
Yeah,
he's making another snack.
There we go.
Yeah, the brain food.
A Scooby snack. There we go. Nelson, remind everyone about your Instagram on the way out.
Nelson Times _
There we go. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Apple Pod, on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review as well. Make sure you show some love. And make sure you join the Silver Screen Breakdown crew at ssbcrew.com. And we'll see you guys for Act 3. Peace out.
Don't be a fool. Join the crew.
Picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really live this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.